So now we are moving on to the screen resolution and screen size of the phones. A lot of people have been hating on the fact that the iPhone finally is catching up to the screen size that you could find in Android phones. Something that to me makes absolutely no sense. Why would you hate on a company for doing something that you've been saying they should do for a long time? It's kind of contradictory. But regardless of that, they are copying. I think anyone with a brain knows they are copying. A lot of people are acting like Apple's trying to pretend that they were the first to do this. They're not doing that, not by any means. I'd like to see proof for that. Because to be honest, they know that they're copying Android. Everyone knows they know, and we all know. So that's just a given. Now, one thing that's a more intelligent debate to talk about is resolution. A lot of people have been talking about how the iPhone 6 has resolution barely above the 720p resolution, and the iPhone 6 Plus has resolution at 1080p, 1920 by 1080. It's pretty reasonable, to be honest. I mean, in the 6 you get 326 ppi, pixels per inch, which gives you the Retina display quality that you found in the 2010 iPhone 4. The iPhone 6 Plus gives you over 400 pixels per inch, which is way more than anyone would need, and I really don't even get the concept of smashing that many pixels into a small screen like that. The reality is that there are a lot of Android phones that provide higher resolutions at similar or lower price points than these phones. So the question is it worth having a higher resolution on your phone? Well, the reality is there are some technical interests in having a higher resolution screen regarding better scaling between different apps that are meant for larger phones or smaller phones. It's better for scaling all around. It makes it easier to scale up and down applications and web browser websites and stuff like that. But as far as the end user result, when you look at a 1920 by 1080 5-inch phone, when you look at a 2560 by 1440 5-inch phone, and then you look at a phone that has exactly 326 ppi, which is what the iPhone 6 has at just above 720p, and you compare those three phones and you look at them, you're not going to be able to discern a difference between each image quality. The thing that you will notice is the difference in color and the difference in viewing angle, which all has to do with things that are not related to the resolution. They're related to the panel technology, IPS, OLED, you name it. You know, it has to do with those types of things, not the resolution. The resolution is not going to show a visible difference. The only visible difference you will be able to see between different resolutions is if you pull out a magnifying glass and you look very close at the screen, you will be able to tell that one is higher resolution than the other. But how often do you have a magnifying glass out? Very infrequently, so it doesn't make sense. So physically, you don't get much of a benefit. So what else is affected by higher resolution phones? Well, we found out something. There was a benchmark that was released from a certain YouTuber, I forgot the name. I'll actually link it in the description, and the video will be showing right here, that shows the iPhone 6 performing better than the iPhone 6 Plus. Why is that? They have the same specs. What's the difference? Why is the iPhone 6 performing better than the iPhone 6 Plus? Well, you can argue about this all day and try to figure out what it is, but the reality is the iPhone 6 Plus has 1080p displayed at any given moment, and the iPhone 6 has little over 720p displayed at any given moment. Higher resolution, as any PC gamer knows, higher resolution results in lower performance. If you take your resolution on your computer's gaming from 1440p down to 1080p, boom, your frame rate jumps up. If you bring it from 1080p down to 720p, boom, you have amazing frame rate, and especially when you switch from surround, which is 5760 by 1080 or 1440, down to a normal panel of 1920, 1080. You get much better performance. You also get less power consumption, which means that if you have a larger screen, or a larger resolution rather, on a phone, you're most likely going to be using more battery. So you're going to be consuming more battery, for one. For 2, you're going to get worse performance. And what's the end result? What does the consumer get out of this? Nothing. There's no physical, visual benefit to having more resolution. So in reality, all Android is doing by giving you 1440p phones is they're giving you less battery life, less performance, and overall a worse user experience. Believe it or not, if the Android phones that have 1440p or 1080p, whatever they have, those high resolutions, were lowered down to 326 pixels per inch, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference, but you'd get better battery life and you'd get better performance numbers. In fact, the benchmarks would probably be well over what the iPhone 6 Plus and 6 have, which is around 2,900 on Geekbench. They'd be up toward 3,300. In fact, the 6 Plus, if the 6 Plus was reduced down to 326 ppi, it'd be a much better competitor with the Moto X, for example, which is at 3050 on the benchmarking. So, it's a huge farce, in my opinion, to keep cranking out all those numbers. That is my overall synopsis of the resolution war going on. I think it's ridiculous, and I'm happy Apple stuck with 326 ppi on the iPhone 6. If you want a faster phone, definitely get the iPhone 6 because it's going to be a little bit faster because of that lower resolution. If you guys enjoyed this video, you want to see more like this, there are 3 links here to different videos about this type of topic, and there's also more videos on my channel if you check it out, or if you subscribe for more. But I'll see you guys next time.